Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fernando Guarany. I'm an English language teacher, and this evening I'm very happy to have here with me my dear friend and also English language teacher, actor, writer, Carlos Gontow. Carlos, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm doing great as well. So Carlos, you have been in English language teaching for how many years?
For 30 years.
30 years.
30
wow.
years next month, actually.
30 years next month. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how do you think the profession has changed from when you started to nowadays? What do you think have been the most significant changes in your opinion?
Oh my God, so much has changed. I think now English is more accessible to everyone. When I started studying English, the teacher had all the knowledge and you couldn't find English everywhere. Nowadays you turn on the TV, you can listen to English, you can watch movies in English, you can read books in English as they are released. Everything is really fast.
It's true.
Everything is available on the internet.
I remember myself when I started to learn English in Santarém, Pará, the heart of the Brazilian Amazon. Very, very few resources, you know. I mean, nowadays we have the internet, we have live videos, and you know, we have so much choice. Back then, I mean, we had old books, and hardly ever when we could have someone come from an English-speaking country with materials like, you know, VHS, we would be delighted. We would you know, consider ourselves lucky for that.
When I started studying English, I went to the States. I rented a VCR and I recorded
a VCR?
I recorded 6 videotapes of American TV programs. And I came back to Brazil, my students would go, "Oh wow, we're watching American TV."
So clearly technology has made a difference in the profession, right? And do you think that this impact of technology has had some kind of influence on pedagogy as well? Do you think it's impacted, has had implications on pedagogy, the way teachers teach, etc.?
I think so. In my case, I like to show my students, sometimes they don't believe what I'm saying. I say, Americans speak like this. They don't believe. I show a video. Look, I show a TV program. Look, that's how they speak.
Okay,
so this is one thing.
Right, so...
In the past, when I started teaching English, we had cassette tapes. So we had to play the cassette in class. The students, that was the only opportunity for students to listen to English. Nowadays they can download the audios from textbooks online.
I still remember that. Sorry for interrupting you, but I still remember that we would have to locate the right position on the tape, and sometimes if we, you know, lost track of it, it would be crazy. Now, you are a man who has had multiple roles in ELT. You have worn, you know, several hats. An actor. I mean, you've been involved with theatre. You're a poet, you're a writer. So let's talk about writing, for example. You have written a number of books. Would you share with us some of your favorite books that you have written? Difficult question, but what are some of the books you have written?
Well, the first book I wrote is called The Classroom is a Stage. It's a book of sketches for English students. And actually what I've been doing, I've been adapting plays for my students to act. So I watch a play, I adapt, I change the lines to make them easier. I've been giving workshops to teachers, look, and I tell them, look, do this, watch a TV show, adapt the program, and they say, but don't you have something ready for us? I said, but I don't know your students, I don't know the level of your students, so you should adapt each play for your students. Don't you have something ready? So I wrote this book.
Fantastic.
But the most important thing in the book is to give teachers tools for them to write their own plays. So I have my sketches, but I tell them, if you want to change this, you can do this, you can do that, you can add more characters.
Yeah, because they pass from a passive role into an active role, right? So they start producing rather than being merely consumers of, you know, ready-made materials. That's interesting. And do you think that playing a role, for example, sort of, you know, allows students to have a different identity they are possibly more comfortable with in the English language?
They're much more comfortable, sure. Because when we're rehearsing a play, first thing is, students have to repeat the lines, they have to rehearse the lines. And they repeat the same line hundreds of times. If you're in a classroom and you say, Fernando, repeat this, and they say, again, they are bored. When they're rehearsing, they repeat it, they don't mind. I like to use puppets in my class. So students talk to each other using puppets. When they are talking like this, they're very shy. They don't make facial expressions, but when they're using the puppets, they speak like this and they smile, and the intonation changes.
So it sort of breathes life into the situation, doesn't it? It makes it so much more real. And I'm sure they make so much more memorable as well. I think they go home after the lesson and they keep thinking about it, you know, and probably years to come, they'll still remember the lines. Now, this leads us to a point which is very important in terms of creativity in the English language classroom. I think the question I want to ask is, what's the role of creativity for English language teaching and learning?
I think it's very important. Creativity for me is doing something that you always do in a different way. If you change just a little bit, it becomes something completely different. Like I say, instead of doing a dialogue with two people, you do it with puppets. It's the same dialogue, the same lesson, but it's completely different, right? I don't know, sometimes I ask my students, stand up. I give them a plastic cup and say, imagine you are at a party talking to each other, and they say, hi, what's your name? And his friend, they do the same thing they would do sitting down, and they think, wow, this is amazing. You're so creative. But actually, you just change a little bit, and it becomes something new.
And if you had to go to school, what 3 main characteristics in a teacher would you look for?
Oh my gosh, that's very hard, because I would look for somebody like me.
Okay, so...
I would like to learn another language just by speaking that language with no translation, because that's how I teach.
Okay, so obviously in terms of command of the language, you would have to be a teacher with a high level of proficiency in the target language, if not a native speaker. Do you think a native speaker would be essential for you, or do you think...
I don't think native speakers are the best teachers.
Okay.
I think somebody who knows how to teach the language.
Okay, right.
I'm not a native speaker of English, and I'm a good teacher. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, Carlos, thanks very much for making the time to have this chat. So thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.